Hey, got a minute? I'll teach you how to build a cognitive entity. Let's talk about the ACE framework. First, some terms. Agent comes from the word agency. Agency has a specific meaning. One meaning is an action or intervention. Another meaning is a thing or person that acts to produce a particular result. Another meaning is an organization of agents, which is one hierarchical level more complex, but is composed of smaller agents. As discussed in earlier videos, agents can be composed of smaller agents. So each layer of an entity can be considered an agentic layer. The word autonomous means that it can act without specific direct prompting. We can consider ChatDev in its entirety to be agentic, an agent composed of many smaller agents. But it is not entirely autonomous, as it is a finite series of prompts that run. An autonomous cognitive entity runs in the background. It runs without you telling it to, and it pursues tasks without you telling it to. Fundamentally, we have to build agentic layers that communicate hierarchically. Task prosecution is like a single API call or a specific action with a servo motor. Cognitive control is making the plan to use specific tools, which ChatGPT does as a part of its built-in application layer. If you're building one of these, you have to build it yourself if you're going to use the API. The executive function layer is a new layer that we're able to achieve with large language models. The instructions, when well prompted and specifically structured, can often produce plans that can actually be followed by lower layers. Implementing vector stores and the API server that tells the model what kinds of tools it can use are more happening up at the agent model layer. That's also where the LLM is selected and used and run. The global strategy layer actually understands the whole environmental context. So this is where you would give ChatGPT stuff like the analytics or the results of an API or something in the real world that you're measuring. This is what informs its capacity to make a strategy. And so you have to give it all of the information that it would use to succeed and ways to get new information. You have to do prompt engineering to get it to articulate good strategy. The most interesting layer brought on by the ACE framework is the morality, ethics, and mission layer. This is actually really just clever prompt engineering. You can use a single morality, values, ethics, and mission statement, or you can use this layer and decompose it into many smaller agentic sublayers. So, for example, if you wanted to have several prominent philosophical thinkers debate about the next actions in order to actually issue directives down to the global strategy layer, you could implement that at this layer. So these layers can be arbitrarily complex. Other than the layers, you have this concept of a northbound and southbound bus, with the morality layer being at the top and able to issue commands down to the strategy layer, but task-based layers which may be compromised or not well articulated enough to adequately make decisions about how to proceed from the morality layer. If they only are able to communicate status up and success or failure, and then directives are communicated only down, then you're able to build morality as the highest level in the hierarchy. This is a structurally enforced intelligibility, which is one of the efforts that needs to be pursued in AI alignment. We're taking a sample implementation at the Multiverse School and complexifying the layers. We'll produce an autonomous cognitive entity, so on my channel I'm probably going to have a whole lot of updates about that for a while. We have roboticists on board, senior cloud practitioners, data scientists, people who just learned to code, critical thinkers from across the humanities, some teachers, some therapists, some math tutors. We have people in their 50s and people in their 20s, and of course in between. More than half of us are gender nonconforming. So this is gonna be a really weird and cool AI, I hope. Let me know if you want in.